Year's, I don't know, check-in, reflection vlog. We are breaking fast with our date. It is currently the 27th of May, 2023. It is a Saturday, but because Harry fasted yesterday, so we are fasting today. I have a special guest today called Mikan. Come on, Mikan. This is my auntie's stray cat. So, fun fact, we're currently in my auntie and uncle's house. They are in Europe, and we are house or cat sitting for them for 3 weeks in the month of May, and they'll come back on the 2nd of June. So we have about 1 week left before they come back. Mikan is this orange tabby cat.
He has a girlfriend, Piao Piao, who is
He doesn't want to sit here.
she has short-term memory.
He doesn't like being held. But yeah, they are stray cats, so they usually don't really roam in the house. But these days, I think because it's been pretty cold, he's liked staying indoors. Particularly likes to bother us when we're praying.
Yes.
No. What's going on in our life?
I'm not good under pressure.
I think he wants to eat because there's a plate of sushi behind this camera.
So, yeah. I like to keep things short. But today I'm not.
Let's start off with a couple of questions.
Whose questions?
What happened this month?
This month?
Yeah.
Well, we drove up to... Oh no, that was last month.
Yeah, well, what's been happening this part of the year. At the beginning of the year, we went to Bali. Or actually, even before that, Harry was in Europe, so he was away for a few weeks. I was by myself in Melbourne because I went on a family trip to Tasmania at the end of last year, so that was in December. There was several discourses about him going to Europe and visiting Iceland without me, but I was okay with it at the end. If you want to check out his Europe vlogs, it's on his channel.
Which are unlisted for reasons.
Ah, yes, okay. Well, you can't find them,
they
unfortunately.
aren't. They used to be.
But one day they might be still there, so... Yeah, I won't dive too deep into that, but basically... After January, we went to Bali at the end of January. So Harry was really only in Melbourne for like 2 weeks before we then left to Bali, Indonesia. We stayed there purely because we wanted to live together and we didn't want to pay rent in Australia because that's really expensive. And we also committing ourselves to probably 12 months lease or at least 6 months. We've never had rental history before because we've both been living with our parents. Because of the pandemic and also financial situations, so it was really hard for us to find a place that wanted to, give us.
Well, given the market right now.
Yeah, and it was really expensive. Like you might remember, but earlier in the year after COVID became less of a thing, most people wanted to move out and wanted to, like the rental market was really competitive. There was like 30 plus applications for every single inspection that we went to. We tried like quite hard to put in a few applications, but really just like we realized that it just wasn't for us. And plus because we have remote jobs, so we aren't tied to Australia, and we thought, why don't we try renting in other places or just living somewhere long term, like for a month or something, in other countries where that was a possibility. So we're still sticking to this side of the world because we don't want to go somewhere where we'll wake
Time
up
zones are a bit
and
weird.
our colleagues would be sleeping, and that would be really difficult to coordinate, especially with our small remote teams in the startups that we work in. So we both just decided Bali was a good test run. I wanted to see whether or not... why does your computer go to sleep like
I don't know. But yeah, anyway, Bali was interesting.
I'm gonna try mine. It's a strawberry macchiato.
Definitely good. But next is Thailand, which will be in August.
This is good. Wait, do you have a straw? I just had like a bunch of cheese. It's actually not that great without the strawberry. I need the strawberry.
I'm not used to doing these type of videos anymore, unfortunately.
We'll get used to it because we have to do it more often.
I'm also bald.
Oh yeah, that happened recently too. So Harry had a lot of hair and it was bothering him. Actually, so back to the story. After we came back from Bali, we stayed in Melbourne for a bit and then we came up to Brisbane for the first time, where we stayed in his brother Heikel's house for the month of Ramadan, and slightly before as well. Yeah, I say no ice. Oh, but I got the strawberry macchiato. It's so cold. But yeah, so during the month of Ramadan, we were fasting, working, and sleeping on the floor because Heikel didn't have a bed or a spare bed in his house. We didn't want to sleep on the couch for a month.
And we brought up a tilam.
We brought up a futon that had been sitting in
My
your back room, which basically is like a huge storage room where things are very dusty. We tried to air it out in the sun for a few days before we drove it up, but obviously there was probably still dust mites in there, or maybe there were dust mites on the carpet in the room that we were sleeping in Heikel's house. So this guy got really itchy because he's allergic to a lot of things, including dust mites. And his hair was like...
And so I shaved my head.
His hair had eczema. He had a lot of eczema on his like calf, leg area, and his like external limbs. It was just really bad. Like I've never seen it that bad before. Maybe he has, but...
I have not.
Oh, okay.
That was definitely the worst.
Really? That's interesting. But basically, we realized that we couldn't sleep on the futon anymore, and also he had to fix his eczema in his head, which was really annoying him because he had all his hair and it was, you know, sweat plus eczema was not a good match. So he needed to get access to the skin that was inflamed. So he shaved the hair off.
Look, it's not bad. I actually kind of like it being bald, but then at the same time...
But he did this recently. He didn't do this, like, he didn't do it until we came back.
Oh, yeah, this was
Brisbane.
like last week? Within the last week? Like 5 days ago, maybe?
Yeah. That's that. Any other updates? I guess Nari-wise, we've started usability testing. Well, actually, we're ending usability testing by this end of this month because we have a lot of work to do. Usability testing is basically like... Oh, he's just playing with the sandals. We can, yes. So basically, we partner up with this community called Uncommon Collective, who's led by this guy named Eli, who's our friend, and he let us gave us the opportunity to test our app with his community members. So we got a few people to go through the app with us on their phone, so we could, you know, get to see their first reactions and get some feedback from them. So we have a lot of things. We have a lot of backlog to catch up. So we will be working on that next month. And Harry will also be going to Japan next month as a side thing, but I will not be going with him because...
But we are going in November.
Yeah. I guess we are going in November, but that was the whole reason why I didn't want to go, because if I'm going to go already in November, why am I going like in the middle of summer in Japan when I want to go there to snowboard?
Well, because they're my friends, I guess. But yeah, that will be next week, pretty much. I think next
Why
Thursday.
are you going to Japan?
For fun.
How much money are you going to spend?
I don't know. Hopefully less than 2,000. Should be. I'm aiming for 1,500, to be honest.
That's quite a lot.
Is it? That's pretty cheap, I think, for Japan.
Yeah, for Japan, but we stayed in Bali for a month for $1,000. Just accommodation. So
Well, I mean, in terms of flights and accom, I've only paid like 500 for the flights and the accommodation.
yeah, but then because you're actually going for a holiday,
I don't know what I'm gonna do, so I'm hoping it's not more than that. I don't think it will be, to be honest. But it depends what I buy.
yeah,
I don't think we're gonna be doing things like the only thing that's gonna cost is like the rail pass, which is what $400 or something, and then yeah.
Anyways, he's going to Japan for 10 days in June, whereas I think I'll be in Melbourne the whole time before we go to Thailand in August. So the whole remote work, co-living thing is continuing internationally because we've been here in Australia for a few months now and we're getting bored. Now, actually, we already had flights to Thailand to go in May, but we had to reschedule it because Harry's company was going through a major project that he was a part of, and he told his boss that he wanted to go overseas, and his boss wanted to see whether he could finish the job first. So that's what we had to do. We had to be responsible adults and make sure.
But now it's good. I got the A-OK to go travel and work, so yeah. But I'm only gonna do that in August, so.
Yeah, so we'll be away in August, come back, and then we'll go...
Maybe we'll actually post daily. Do something like this every day.
I could not.
Why not?
I'm doing a TLDR. There's not that many interesting things that happen in a day. It's pretty mediocre.
That's fine.
Like, it sounds interesting because I'm like summarizing a whole like year of
Is it interesting?
stuff, but you guys tell us. Anyways, we should probably get to our dinner, so no more details.
I'm so bold.
If you think he looks like a monkey, give us a thumbs up.
Like an elf.
He do look like an elf.
Alright.
See you guys next time. We might check it next month.
So much uglier now.
Bye.